Hello, mother. Hello, father. Here I am at Camp Granada. Camp is very entertaining. And they say we'll have some fun if it stops raining. I went hiking with Joe Spivey. He developed poison ivy. You remember Leonard Skinner? He got ptomaine poisoning last night after dinner. All the counselors hate the waiters, and the lake has alligators, and the head coach wants no sissies, so he reads to us from something called Ulysses. Now I don't want this should scare you, but my bunkmate has malaria. You remember Jeffrey Hardy? They're about to organize a searching party. Take me home, oh mother, father, take me home. I hate Granada, don't leave me out in the forest where I might get eaten by a bear. Take me home, I promise I will not make noise or mess the house with other boys. Oh, please don't make me stay. I've been here one whole day. Dearest father, darling mother, how's my precious little brother? Let me come home if you miss me. I would even let Aunt Bertha hug and kiss me. Wait a minute, it stopped hailing. Guys are swimming, guys are sailing, playing baseball. Gee, that's better. Mother, father, kindly disregard this letter.
Anti-Afro Spingalies. Shout out and rest in peace to Alan Sherman. This satire slash parody comes from 1963. No surprise to me that people continue to use their own brand of humor to reinvent these very words in present day. Yes, people interpret this parody, satire, however you want to put it, as a summer camp experience. But you can interpret any way you want. I tend to look at this as someone going into a situation and having expectations that people accommodate who they are and encountering great difficulty. So in order to try to make a situation tolerable, they come up with all these wild scenarios, hoping to get what they want. You see all the things that he was saying, fighting and fighting and fighting, then finally realizing, you know what, I might as well try to peacefully coexist. But before you get to that point, it was raging with all of the malaria and the alligators and all that. There are those who make up these scenarios. They try to get others to comply with their orders and directives. Total and complete strangers. You don't know them. They have these outrageous expectations that you tolerate whatever they choose to do. So let me say this. If there's one thing that I find outrageously offensive, is to be going about my own business, going about my day, and someone believing they have a right to infringe upon my peace, safety, welfare, and I should have nothing to say about it. That to me is the most offensive. And when I say most offensive, it doesn't mean I am going to lose control, because that's not going to happen. That doesn't mean I'm going to give the offending party any means of satisfaction. It just means that I am going to do one of several things. In most instances, I just get away from the situation. The vast majority of times this situation arises, whether it's on YouTube or off, I just leave the situation. I don't have to waste energy giving attention to anyone who feels they should be able to engage in offensive behavior. Most of the time, it simply is not worth my time, it's not worth my effort, and I'm not interested in entertaining or doing anything about it because there are so many other things that I have so much more interest in, that I get great enjoyment out of doing. I'm not going to sit here and expend my energy, valuable time on things that are frankly sickening. There's no way in hell my time and life is going to be wasted simply screaming and hollering, going back and forth, mindless rants, drunken rages, drug-fueled rages. Pointless. But there's something I absolutely will do, which is the purpose of essentially every video I post. There are some exceptions. All humor aside, I will teach people how to defend themselves. I'll teach by example. I will always let people know how they can access their rights. That will never change. There are many ways that can be done. I don't give a damn what anybody thinks about it. Nobody has to like it. I don't do it because those who are the worst offenders don't like it. Those who insist on being able to harass and threaten others with their edict of keep it on YouTube don't like it. That's irrelevant. I'm still going to continue to do exactly what I said I would do when I came here. I will make sure the information is placed on this channel for any and everybody who seeks information on how to address fraud, reporting fraud, defending your rights, and accessing resources. There are times when others think they're entitled to violate your literal rights. They think they have a right to verbally abuse you, to harass you, to slander you, and that's not acceptable. There are lines that I absolutely will not allow to be crossed. Now, how I go about addressing that, there's multiple ways, but let me tell you this. If I'm online and I get word that someone I don't even freaking know is going about making offensive sexual comments about me, and I'm going, I've never even had any conversation, much less a conflict with the subject, there's got to be more to it. Always more to it. What's to it? As we've always have stated, there are some subjects in and around the Umar Johnson sector who feel they can't do anything in terms of being seen and heard and respected unless they are targeting specific people. When I decide to address the issue, that's going to be on my timeline, but no one is going to come up here on YouTube, claim to be a respectable businessman, and engage in a sexually harassing behavior, and that's something I'm going to tolerate. Now, there's many avenues I can use to address that, but I'm not going to sit here and be silent about it. What's also outrageously ridiculous scenarios when subjects turn around and claim that they're being harassed, that their business is being targeted. It is contradicting to try to call oneself a respectable businessman and then you're sexually harassing people on YouTube, right? A respectable family man and you're sexually harassing people on YouTube. You're caring about the community and you want to provide a service. You want to promote a Black business opportunity, but you're on YouTube saying you're coming for somebody's mental health because they gave you a strike, and the nerve to sit around and talk about us when we haven't even mentioned your name. I never mentioned your name. Gerald never mentioned your name. Our friends and supporters never mentioned your name. In fact, none of the people that this dude is attacking said anything about him. Just decides to start attacking people. So others with the same evil intent can flock to the channel. And so now, yeah, give me money and just let me talk shit about those who never even mentioned my name. been getting angry because Remix won't hang out your channel. Remix did go over there for a couple of minutes, but who wants to go on a page where someone is just constantly yelling at you? Then you went over to Remix's page and were horrendously disrespectful. You're on somebody else's page and you don't even let them speak. What the hell is that? It's just a show. There's no purpose. There's no intention of having any dialogue. You're just wanting to come over just to scream at someone on their page so you can go back and talk about it on your page. I have to say this. I am so proud, really very proud of our brothers and sisters who stood up and have been unrelenting in their reporting of Tiffany Henyard, this mayor in Dalton. Just hold on, because this is related. And the supervisor of Thornton Township, this is in Chicago, Cook County. This has really taken on this affinity fraud, this destructive affinity fraud that has wreaked havoc in our community. I believe affinity fraud destroys the Black community unlike it destroys any other community, because of this bullshit about keep it on YouTube. The keep it on YouTube doesn't exist with any other culture, any other race but ours. As for Tiffany Henyard, she really believed she had that affinity fraud on lockdown. Never thought in a million years what she was doing would move beyond those two enclaves, which are predominantly Black. She misstepped where Umar Johnson managed to remain in bounds. Keep it between us, like hell, keep it between us. I'm not keeping anything between us, Black folks. If it involves harassment or threats, I'm going to report it. I don't care if you call me the feds or the cops or the snitch. Call me 24/7. You have a right to call me that. And I have a right to report your asses if you cross the line. Every single time I've contacted the authorities in response to people making threats, they have taken care of it. Every single time Gerald has called, every time friends and supporters, you don't know all the times we have called, they have handled the situation. They have provided us with support that none of you, just your evil, I mean, it's got to be bad. Your reality has got to be horrendous in every way if you think this is how life should be, that you can come onto the internet and think you can threaten people and nothing's going to happen. So, such as this Tiffany Henyard. We all have free speech, but these subjects in that Umar Johnson sector, they didn't know when to quit. They thought, just like Tiffany Henyard, we're dealing with Black folks. We can do what the hell we want. Not when it comes to this Black woman, you can't. The second you see a non-Black person, especially a white person, calling one of us a ninja, what do they want? Where do they work? What's the supervisor's name? What's the name of the company? They need to be fired. But they think that we should have to put up with the worst of the worst towards us, towards our families, towards our businesses, towards jobs, because we're Black. Well, you can live like that, but you can't force me to live like that. You can't force Gerald Palmer to live like that. You can't force our friends and supporters to live like that. And have a clue, they really want to believe, and let them believe it though. Allow them to believe whatever they want to believe. They want to equate how many people appear on your channel as a measure of support. Give them that. It's still not going to satisfy them. They want us to suffer. They want us to feel like them. We will never feel like you, because we won't ever feel we have to be in chains, mentally or physically, based on your expectations. You can't force us to accept your recipe for us. We won't accept what you insist we should have. We're going to go against what your expectations are of us. We don't have to listen to what you tell us we should do. If you cross the line with us, we're going to contact the cops. So call me the feds. The feds helped me. They stopped the threats. They stopped the threats. You didn't stop the threats. Nobody on YouTube stopped the threats. The police stopped the threats. When this, whatever you want to call her, talked about opening up me and Gerald so we could bleed out, they were there within 15 minutes, knocking on her door. Knocking on her door when she made a threat to kill us. And I can go down. Yeah, you want to talk about paperwork, live stream? I can show you all these police reports. Gerald can show you the police reports. We have other police reports from friends and supporters that were threatened just for being on our pages. People have to call the police because they were threatened. See, there's a paper trail. So that's why I wish any of you would sue us so we can get the paperwork trail into a court and call you all to testify with your names on these police reports. You all, yeah, your names are on police reports. Your live streams, we have the live streams. We're the ones with the evidence. We're the ones with the emails. You're just up here talking on YouTube. We don't have to come here and tell you all what we have, but we'll show it in a court of law. We were prepared to do that in the Catherine Brown case, but that case didn't go anywhere because you didn't have any evidence. We have the evidence. Did you see me over on TCTV's live stream? I never stepped foot over there. Just like I never stepped foot in so many other live streams. But we have the copies. People, I want to thank you so much for looking out for us. There are so many people who can't stand what these evildoers have done. And they don't have to show up on your live stream to tell you. They don't have to leave a comment on our page to tell us. They just send us the information and we catalog it. And we are grateful. That is true support. Support isn't showing up on somebody's page and leaving sexually insulting and degrading messages. Support isn't showing drunk and on drugs on a live stream cursing somebody out. That's just acting the fool. That's just putting yourself in a situation where somebody can capture what you say and report it to your job or to the licensing board or whatever sort of scenario that you're in, that it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Well, here's the bottom line. You're the aggressors. You're the ones that started this. You're the ones that are carrying it on. You're the ones that are harassing people. You're the ones that are leaving messages on our pages. You're the ones that are running around to all these YouTube channels trying to do whatever the hell you're doing, dropping our names in chats, bringing our names up, sending emails to people who we don't even freaking know. You are the aggressors. That is the truth. It's undeniable. People, you know, I always have more coming your way. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer beware.